Well, how about it, y'all? This is Daniel Nicholson with Nicholson Farms, and welcome back to another video. This morning we're out in the garden trying to beat the heat, getting some corn picked, getting the garden picked, getting ready for our farmer's market tomorrow. But right now I'm over here on a row where we're putting some plants in that we're going to try to have late summer, early fall to sell at the farmer's market. A lot of cucumbers. We did not do good at cucumbers this year. We typically like to put some away for pickles. So we made sure we planted plenty of cucumbers. We could kind of put them in various spots down this row. This row is about 120 foot long. And we also have squash and zucchini planted. And today our main focus of our video is I have these cuttings that I took off of some tomato plants that we're going to be putting those in the ground today. And I'm kind of show you the process of how we do that. I think several videos back I showed you what a sucker was on a tomato plant, but we're about to walk over to our tomato plants. I'm gonna show you a sucker. I'm gonna show you how I cut it off, and then kind of explain the whole process, what you need to do to get that sucker ready to go into the ground. So let's walk over here to the tomato plants real quick. So for the most part, our tomato plants did very well this year. We've got 3 different varieties, and you can kind of tell where they are. I don't know if you can on camera. But these kind of taller, bushier ones right here are beefsteaks. And then you can kind of see kind of a gap right there where they didn't get quite as tall. Part of that is the tree right here shading it out. But also that is celebrities. And then on the end where they get tall again is better boys. Like I said, for the most part, they did pretty well. We've got a couple that didn't do so well. Here's one guy that's pretty much dwindled out. I'm not sure why that guy didn't do so well. Here's another one that stayed kind of short, but it's hard to tell. I don't know. Same soil, same layout, same spacing as everybody else. I will say this year I planted a bunch of marigolds and I just let them get tall. You can cut them down and make them a little bushy, but I didn't. I don't know if that kind of choked our tomato plants out some. Maybe next year I'll try to manage the marigolds a little more. But other than that, everything looks pretty good in the tomato world. Getting some decent ones. We're getting a lot of small ones. I think that has to do with some fertility issues and also the heat, but it's just part of it. Tomatoes are really easy to grow for the most part, and they produce a lot of fruit. Produces a good amount of income for us. Tomatoes is kind of how I got started into the world of selling produce. My neighbor always plants a big old garden, and he sold a lot of tomatoes, and he started selling tomatoes for me. And then finally I just started selling them by myself once I got some people that were interested in them. And since then he's kind of slowed down with selling, and hopefully I can take all his old customers one day. So just like any other plant that puts off a seed or a fruit, a plant's main purpose is to reproduce. And that's why they put off so many tomatoes and with so many seeds in that tomato. And they're technically a bush, and they kind of branch out. They'll travel. If a limb lays on the ground, it will take root. Start a new plant right there, and super easy to grow, super easy to make more of. I'm gonna start walking through here, and I'm gonna see if we can find a good sucker and show you how I cut it, how I get ready to plant it. And actually there's one right here I might try planting. Let me flip the camera around. This right here is what you call a sucker. You have your main stem coming off, you got a branch, and then you have a plant coming out of the corner right here. That is going to be a sucker. I've got a pair of scissors in my pocket. We'll just go ahead and cut that, and then we'll kind of talk about what I would do to prepare to plant this. I'm going to drop it because I've got a camera in one hand. Oh, it didn't fall. Let's walk up to the truck tailgate, and I'll set this down, and I'll show you what I'm going to do this next.
Get to work, camera boy.
So now that we have our sucker cut off of our plant, simple pretty much, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in through with my scissors, and I'm going to cut off these 2 lower branches. try to have as much stem as possible. When a tomato plant, whenever you plant it, there's several different ways to do it. You could dig a hole all the way where you're covering to right there. And I don't know if you can see all these little hairs on it. Yeah, you can. All those little hairs have the potential of putting off roots. That's what they're there for. If those touch soil or any kind of moisture, they're gonna try to start growing a root right there, and that's how the plant will split. So whenever you're planting a tomato plant, even a transplant that you got a soil block on the bottom, you can plant them super deep, and you're gonna just allow for more roots to develop, a stronger plant from the base. Another way you can do it is dig a trench, and you can lay this plant on its side and kind of just bend those couple branches up, and it can do the same exact way. It's just growing roots this way instead of out this way. You don't have as deep as a hole. But whenever we cut our cuttings off of our tomato plants, typically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick them in water for about 2 weeks. Over 2 weeks, I'll show you here in a second, the plants that we cut about two and a half weeks ago, they're definitely ready to go in the ground. But if you set it down into some water for 2 to 3 weeks, you don't have to put any growth hormones, anything special in there. It'll stay alive, and it'll start to develop some roots, and then from there you can just plant it into some real moist soil. Another way to do it, if you wanted to, you could stick it in a pot with some potting soil, and make sure that potting soil stays really moist, and it'll do the exact same thing, and then you can plant it. I don't do that just so I don't have to waste any potting soil. It's just easy enough to put them into some water. But I don't think we're gonna have room for this guy in the garden. I'm gonna keep it to the side, and if we do, I might just plant this one straight like this without putting it in the water for 2 weeks first, and just see how it does. I've never done that before. But since I do have some cuttings, let's go over there. I'm gonna show you the root structure on those. We're gonna start laying those out, and we're gonna get them planted this morning. I'm hoping I've got room to plant about 20 of them. I don't think I do. It's probably gonna be more about 12 to 15. So we'll get over there, and then I'll see how far we get. A little gap that we're gonna be planting tomatoes in, basically from this little white peg to right where you see those plants start right there. We're just gonna walk it out and see how many plants we can fit. I always plant my tomatoes 2 feet apart. I wear size 11 and a half, so about 2 of mine is going to be 2 of my feet's going to be a mark. So I'm just going to walk it down and figure out how many tomato plants we're going to put right here. Like we have 19. A big step of doing this before we get started is really wet the ground. My dad come out here this morning about daylight and started picking sweet corn, so he went ahead and cut on the irrigation for us to water all these young plants and seeds that we've got in the ground. But also that's going to make our bed that we have really moist, so whenever we put those plants down there, they're not requesting some water. It's already there for them. Try to make this as stress-free as possible. So I can't get the camera close enough to have my face in it and all that, but I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. So I've got my mark where I wanna plant this tomato plant, and I'm just gonna make a little bit of a hole with our little shovel here. And let's pull out these plants and kind of show you the root system on them. Some of them look a little healthier than the others, but they should be okay. I'm trying to get them untangled. So here's a good example of what we're planting. This plant has been in this water for about 2 weeks. It's definitely time for it to go in the ground. But you can see all those roots coming off those hairs I was telling you about. You got some roots coming off the bottom. And so what we're gonna do, we're just gonna open this soil up and stick this plant down as far as we possibly can. And then we're gonna come back and just pack around it. And this plant is ready to go. There should be plenty of moisture in there for it over the next couple days to kind of adjust to the transplant and be ready to go. And that is a free tomato plant that came off of our plants that we've got just a couple feet away. So hopefully it'll grow. We're gonna get the rest of these laid out, see how many I have. I might have to start some more. I thought I had more of these than I did. I guess I threw some of them out. But I'm gonna get to busy and get these things planted. So I did come up 7 short. So maybe we'll have a little bit of an experiment. I've got my cutting that I showed you a second ago. Maybe I'll go grab, let's see, this one will make, we need 6. Let's go find 6 cuttings and we'll try pulling them straight in the dirt. I've never tried this, but why not? If they don't work out, I can just put some more in the water and replace the ones that didn't make it. I'll probably do that anyways. Start a couple just in case a couple of these don't make the transplant. Got all the ones that's been soaking in water that's got the roots laid out. And we also have several that I just cut. Found a couple big ones. But that's the one that we showed you earlier. This guy, he's pretty big. We're gonna go ahead and plant him as deep as possible. It's another big one. We're gonna try it out. Said I've never planted them straight in the dirt before. As long as we keep them nice and moist, I don't think it'll be a problem. And I'm gonna go ahead over the next couple days while I'm picking tomatoes. I'll pick a couple more cuttings and go ahead and start them in water just in case some of these don't make it. And if all these make it, we'll be planting some tomatoes somewhere else, I reckon. But I'm gonna set the camera up real quick, get all these guys planted. Well, I'm not sure what's going on with my phone this morning. I had it set on a time lapse for whenever I was planting these things, but it recorded about 2 seconds and it stopped. But we got them all planted. This is going to be a mix between beefsteak, celebrity, and better boy. Mainly beefsteak and better boy. The celebrity I don't think I'm going to plant next year. And actually I've got a couple other varieties that I've got in mind next year that we might try out. I know better boy is still going to be on the list. I just haven't found anything that beats better boy, but I've got a couple options I want to try. But this is going to be it for what we plant in the fall. Still might plant a few up at me and Maddie's house in some containers or something like that. That's some videos that I want to make. I want to build some self-wicking containers to put in our backyard so we can do lettuce and stuff like that and be able to cover them up, so hopefully we can grow on into the winter some. Kind of a little greenhouse setup is what I've got in mind, but that'll be a couple videos away. We haven't really got started on that. But this is going to be it for us right now. And this is about all I have for you this morning. My dad keeps hollering at me to come help him pick some corn. We've got a ton of corn to pick. We sold like 15 dozen the first day we started picking. I think we sold right at about 12 dozen yesterday. And we got about 15 going out today. And then tomorrow morning, hopefully we'll sell the rest of it at the farmer's market. We might have a little bit left that either we'll give away to some friends, family, or put up ourselves. But we'll just have to wait and see. I really appreciate y'all hanging out with us. I appreciate you sticking around this long in the garden. A lot of my garden videos just don't do as well as the goats, but it's not always the goats. And luckily, it's not always the goats. You know, if I'm not filming them, not having to do something with them, that means they're doing good, they're healthy, don't need much attention right now. And it's just that part of the year where this is where all my time is being spent, other than just kind of glancing and maintaining the goats. But like I said, I really appreciate you hanging out with us. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and leave us a comment, and we'll see y'all on the next one.